moving on from there now to actual rumored movies and TV shows coming up. One that we just got most recently that I think would be fantastic, kind of a pun intended, was The Silver Surfer is possibly getting a movie, as reported here. Let me read here what it said from the Hollywood Reporter. Silver Surfer is one that I want to... sorry, this is from Adam McKay. He was talking to the Hollywood Reporter. Silver Surfer is one I want to do, man. I would do anything to do Silver Surfer because visually you could do what Wachowskis did with Speed Racer. So... thinking about that and with some comments, even though Adam McKay's not attached, he's just previously stated, he would want to do that. We hear nothing but Marvel and Kevin Feige say the future of Marvel is space, is the galaxy. And who else than the man who literally surfs the entire galaxy than the Silver Surfer? So if this happens to be true, would you be excited for it?
Oh, my hype level is insane right now. I love the Silver Surfer, and like you said, Marvel, they're going cosmic, and we wanna continue to head in that direction, but head in that direction with characters that I think people at least have a little bit of an idea of to start out. And I know we have the Eternals, and they'll learn about the Eternals, but the marquee guy for me is going to be the Silver Surfer, Galactus, which, like you said, leads into a Fantastic Four. Man, I love the Silver Surfer. And if he gets his own movie, some people are going to question it, but I think it's exciting.
I think it's exciting too. And it also leads a segue in if they're not ready to do the Fantastic Four. I mean, the Silver Surfer is kind of synonymous with being attached to them. It could work vice versa. Silver Surfer meeting Fantastic Four or the Fantastic Four leading to a Silver Surfer movie.
Yes.
I mean, not even just that, but it also leaves a door attached for Galactus to show up because his comic book origin, he's basically a slave to Galactus. As this guy who runs around and protecting his planet. He has a real cool storyline. I think about what could happen, and that was so 90s, a surfer, they wouldn't really call him a surfer now. I don't know what they would, silver, just that's too basic, but I would really want to see that, and he could possibly be an end credit for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, so cool. That could be a close off or something. I mean, I don't know what else, or possibly an encounter with Nova because they're working on something like that.
Yeah,
that's another rumored project right there we can segue into. Nova is another thing that we've been hearing about. Now, there's a lot of renditions of the Nova character. There's an adult version from the Nova Corps that we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. John C. Reilly, you might remember him as a guy who said, "What a bunch of assholes," stuff like that. But other than that, there is a teenage Nova. And with them possibly working on a young Avenger, do you think they could go with the teenage Nova or the adult Nova?
I don't know. I mean, either way, I think they're going to go off of what happened with Thanos, because Thanos destroyed Xandar, and that's where the Nova Corps is. And a broken down survivor, maybe the only survivor of that entire group of people, would be awesome, going out and getting revenge. So, man, that's kind of the route I wanted to go down. Whether it is teenager or adult, probably would rather see adult, but if they're working on Young Avengers, you got the new Hawkeye coming in, you got the new Black Widow, and now you got the younger Nova. So, yeah, I'd be up for seeing that with maybe a more marquee name for Nova. I know I like the no name sometimes, but somebody that's a bit bigger for Nova, I would like to see that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because they technically already did the origin of Nova secretly in Infinity War, or was it Endgame, with that line that he already attacked Nova, everything's destroyed, and you're like, someone just had their origin story.
Yes.
But then it leads you to believe, like, where was he? Because they do a time jump in Endgame, and you would think someone who wants revenge of the person who destroyed his planet would just be searching and searching and searching for this man. So who knows where he's at or what he does and how they incorporate that if they make this Nova movie. You're going to see Thanos, again, kind of like we were talking with Tony Stark earlier. Yeah. He would have to make some sort of small appearance in flashback form as to how Nova was destroyed for that origin to work.
They did something similar with Black Panther and Age of Ultron, where they just, kind of mentioned Wakanda and brought up, the idea that it exists. And even back, I think it was Iron Man 2, there was a map, and it had Wakanda on the radar. Like, they're dropping seeds like this, and there's no way that little line of dialogue is not going to come back to play later on, because Nova is too Dude, he's too awesome. Using the word awesome. He's too awesome of a character to not include
really
in future
is.
movies. So heck yeah, bring it on.
Moving on from there to something that is a confirmed movie, Black Panther 2. But the big rumor going around about it is that Namor, who's basically Marvel's version of Aquaman, could possibly be the villain for the second movie. Now it's kind of interesting because Namor, essentially, if you bring him in, you would want him to be a hero.
Yeah, I mean,
But if it's a dispute over land or Namor going, you aren't doing things right up here, it's time for my people to take over.
Yes.
What do you think about Namor possibly joining in? Do you think they will do it? Do you think there's any credibility to the rumors, or do you think it's just hopeful wishing?
You have to bring Namor in eventually, right? And I know it's difficult because you just had Aquaman, and people are going to be like, oh, well, Marvel's just copying Aquaman. But, you had Marvel doing Thanos, and DC's probably going to bring in Darkseid. Listen, I think, and I saw some artwork from Boss Logic, it was like, and I think it said Battle of the Two Kings, and it was a Namor Black Panther poster. Did you see that, dude?
I saw that. That looked awesome.
Man. If that's the route they're going with Black Panther 2, then sign me up, because Namor is such a cool character, and his dynamic with these gods and kings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I mean, that could just change everything. So, yeah, sign me up. I think that would be awesome.
And you talk about the Marvel trying to copy DC Aquaman. It's not even like that, but you can't think that Kevin Feige did not see the box office numbers for Aquaman making $1 billion and going, we have an Aquaman.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Let me start to work on that. I mean, that's just business. If something's working, something's trending, you have your own version, why not pull that out? Yeah. So this would be a great way for Namor to come in. And I mean, in the comic books, he's also the first mutant. So that's another tie-in to other things. Okay. So along with that, they're talking about Doctor Doom. And if you're a big comic book fan, you know Doctor Doom has a lot of potential to grow and be this menacing thing. People think of Doctor Doom as scary as a Thanos. Yes. And that might seem odd to you if your only introduction to Doctor Doom is the Fantastic Four movies. You're like, really, him? He's supposed to be as big as a global threat as Thanos? Yeah. He is in the comic book, so people fear him. He's become a big phenomenon. So Marvel's always kind of searching for this next big event, okay? We don't know what it'll be where everyone has to come together again to fight something. Yeah. Doctor Doom could be the lead up to that because there's been rumors that he's going to get his own movie. And I'm not a big fan of these standalone villain movies, and I don't think Marvel is in the business of doing that. Yeah. Sony is, Warner Brothers is. I don't see Marvel doing it. But I do believe Doctor Doom is in the works. So what do you think about this, Austin?
Well, the guy who, this was a while ago, about 2 years ago, but the guy who directed Legion on FX is working on a Doctor Doom script. And whether they're going to take that and kind of form fit it into the MCU or just, give him his own just saga of events, because we're talking Galactus, and I think Galactus would be, but if they want to bring it a bit more small scale from what Thanos was and focus in on what's happening on Earth, and I know they're going cosmic, and maybe there's a cosmic battle, but maybe there's also, you got your Black Panther, you got your Fantastic Four, you got your Namor. Maybe those guys can be busy with the Doctor Doom. And I would be up for that, man, because we've heard multiple Avengers teams, so there's going to be people everywhere. Yeah. And this is a villain. If you look at what he means to the comic books, we have never seen anything like this on the big screen before. I mean, he is just an ongoing force of nature. And everyone, like you said, everyone is afraid of him. And imagine him teaming up with like a Magneto in like 15 years when they bring in the X-Men. Just, I got chills, dude, as a comic book fan. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, yeah, bring on Doctor Doom every day of the week.
Yeah, so I do think for sure he's coming, and they probably have big plans for him. But as far as him getting his own movie, I'm going to say no on that. You?
Man, I don't know. It's a courting because I don't think it's going to happen. But if Joker goes as well as I think DC's thinking it's going to go, I think Marvel would do that eventually. I think Marvel would have their own standalone villain movie. And what better character to start with than Doctor Doom? So I'm going to say maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. And one of the last ones here that there is rumored to be happening. Now, the funny thing is, the rumor is we don't know if there's going to be a movie or a show on Disney+. Young Avengers. They're obviously been hinting at these little seeds of Young Avengers. I mean, you have Scott Lang's daughter,
Yeah.
who has grown up now. That's one right there.
Yeah.
You have Tony Stark's daughter now, and you have Miss Marvel, who's going to get her own TV show,
Yes.
and they said they're going with I forget the character's name, but she is also a teenager, and you have possibly other teenagers coming in. Even in the Fantastic Four, they eventually have a son. Not really sure if he gets any powers from his parents or not, but that's one right there.
Okay.
So a Young Avengers movie could kind of be like their own version of Teen Titans. Cool. If this were to happen, would you want a movie or would you want a Disney Plus series? Keep in mind, we think series, we're like, okay, it's low budget TV. Disney has been churning out money for these things. If you look at the Mandalorian trailer, that is movie quality. That looks as good as Rogue One did.
It does.
So just because you say Disney Plus series does not mean it's going to be TV quality. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think Disney Plus is the route to go. I really do. I think, I want to see this expanded upon a bit more. Not that the Avengers movies weren't, but we didn't have that opportunity back then to move into television as they do now. They have Disney Plus. Utilize it and save the movies for the grand scale characters. But within those movies, you can build up like a Kate Bishop or like what they're doing maybe with Florence Pugh's character in Black Widow. I think she's going to be the new Black Widow. So yeah, definitely bring these kids together in show or movie form. But if I had to pick, I would pick Disney Plus because, a 6-hour and 8-hour event, the Young Avengers coming together. I like Titans for what it is, but this could slap Titans in the face and say, yeah, we're the new young team.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully some of these work out. Who knows? If I had a pick, I would want a movie. I think a movie could work.
Okay.
I'd like to see some in a movie form. I think they'd get that bigger budget right there.